Hi, I've been asked several times lately what video cameras I use, what video settings, how I attach them to the aircraft, how I do the sound, etc, etc. So I thought I'd make a quick video on exactly how I do it. It's not the only way to do it, it's how I do it, and it seems to be quite successful. So first of all, let's have a look at the cameras. So if we start from the wingtip, I use a Gopro Hero 9 and it's set to super wide, which shows the cockpit and also the direction that we're travelling. Move then to the next Gopro Hero 9, which is set on the strut. That's set on a linear setting, which we'll go into a little bit more when we get up to the aircraft. Between the pilot and the passenger, there's another Gopro Hero 10 this time, and that's set on linear, slightly zoomed. And again, we'll go through that again. For the sound, I'm using a GoPro Hero 5 attached to a power bank. Now you can see that all of the cameras have ultra long battery packs on them. The battery packs will last in excess of 3 hours, so I don't have to worry about changing the batteries or the batteries running out. Also, all of the memory cards are 64 gigabytes, which again will give me in excess of 3 hours recording time, because the last thing we need to worry about is if the cameras are going to die on us. So the video settings are all 1080p, and it varies between super wide and linear, even with a slight zoom. As you can see, all of the cameras have got ND filters on. The ND8, and that stops, gives the propeller blur and stops that nasty jagged propeller look on the video, and it also helps with the jello effect. Sometimes you get a jello effect, particularly in the cockpit. Okay, so we've had a look at the cameras. We've had a look at we've talked a little bit about the frame rates that we use, 30 frames a second at 1080p, which I find is good enough for a good quality video, and also it's a good compromise between the size of the memory card, 64 gigabytes in each of them, and also the battery. And as we said, the batteries will last in excess of 3 hours, and so will the video cards. The last thing we need to be concerned about is the batteries running out. We want to set them and forget them. We've had a look at that, so without further ado, the next thing we'll do, we'll go up to the hangar and we'll go through on exactly how and where the cameras are set. Right, we've arrived at the hangar, we've done all of the external checks on the aircraft, and we've pulled it outside into the fresh air. Now we're going to have a look at turning the cameras on and how they're fixed. So the wingtip camera, as you can see there, it's attached with a surfboard mount, and it's tethered. It's facing at about 45 degrees, so it'll pick up the cockpit, and also it'll pick up to see roughly where we're going. And there we are. The downside of that is because it's so wide angle, you get like a fisheye effect, which is a curve of the horizon. Okay, the next camera on the strut is attached by a curved sticky mount, again with a tether on it. And as you can see, it's facing forward. Same view as the wingtip camera, but you lose, because it's in landscape, you don't get that curvature effect. Moving into the cockpit, we've got GoPro 10, which is facing forward, so it'll pick up the cockpit out of the window, but also the instrument panel. So it's roughly what the pilot sees, and on a big screen you'll be able to pick out the instruments quite easily. Finally, the front-facing camera, or rather the camera that's facing the pilot and the co-pilot, is facing forward. As you can see, the sound goes in there via a little box, a microphone box with a cable that's attached to the external power source, and also this little cable that runs back through into earpiece which picks up the microphone to the camera, and the other one goes into the headphones for the pilot.
Golf Mike Romeo Sierra Sierra, extra radar, basic service.
Basic service, Golf Mike Romeo Sierra Sierra.
The last thing we need to do is to synchronise the cameras. Do that by using 3 claps. Bear in mind that the front facing, the camera that's facing the pilot has got an external microphone, so it won't pick up any sound. So we do that, make the claps so that we can see it on the video feed from the front camera, and pick up on the sound feed from the rest of the cameras. That's the view from the individual cameras. Now let's have a look and see what it looks like when they're all matched together, with all the sound balanced up, etc, etc.
Golf Sierra Sierra, contact extra radar 128.980.
Extra radar 128.180, Golf Sierra Sierra. Extra radar, Golf Mike Romeo Sierra Sierra, passing 1,900 feet. Maximum altitude 2,500 feet, request basic service.
Golf Mike Romeo Sierra Sierra, extra radar, basic service.
Basic service, Golf Mike Romeo Sierra Sierra.
So that's how I make my videos. It's for pleasure, for myself. If anybody else gets anything out of it, then happy days. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.